Hello and welcome to Primetime Health. White bread is a staple in homes all around the world. It's affordable, easy to find, and part of so many of our favorite meals, from breakfast toast to lunchtime sandwiches. But despite how common it is, the effect it has on our bodies, especially our blood sugar, is often overlooked. Today, we are going to take a detailed look at what happens inside your body when you eat white bread regularly. This isn't about banning a specific food, but about understanding how refined carbohydrates like white bread affect your glucose metabolism, your insulin response, and your long-term metabolic health. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of why white bread can cause your blood sugar to spike so quickly, how those repeated spikes can affect your body's sensitivity to insulin, and even how it connects to things like triglyceride levels, appetite control, and the health of your gut. Most importantly, we'll discuss how you can still enjoy white bread as part of a balanced diet. Let's start with the structure of white bread and why it digests so quickly. White bread is made from refined wheat flour. During the refining process, the two most nutritious parts of the wheat grain are stripped away: the bran, which is packed with fiber, and the germ, which holds healthy fats, vitamins, and antioxidants. What's left is mainly the endosperm, which is almost entirely starch. This matters a lot for digestion. Fiber is what normally slows down how quickly your stomach empties and how fast your body absorbs carbohydrates. Without that fiber, the process speeds up dramatically. When you eat white bread, digestive enzymes get to work right away, breaking down its starches into simple glucose molecules. These glucose molecules are absorbed very quickly through your intestinal wall and flood into your bloodstream. This rapid absorption is the main reason white bread has a high glycemic index, meaning it causes a fast and sharp rise in blood sugar. So, what does that rapid glucose absorption look like in your bloodstream? Once that glucose hits, your blood sugar levels start to climb, and this can happen within just a few minutes of eating. If you were to compare it to whole grain bread, you'd see that white bread causes a much higher peak in blood glucose, and it gets to that peak much faster. This effect is even more pronounced if you eat white bread by itself or with other refined carbs, like in a jam sandwich. Now, your body is designed to handle occasional blood sugar spikes. But when you expose it to these rapid, high spikes over and over again, you're putting a lot of stress on your body's glucose-regulating systems. Over time, this constant challenge can start to disrupt your metabolic stability. This brings us to insulin. Insulin is the key hormone your body uses to manage blood sugar. When your blood sugar rises, your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin's job is to act like a key, unlocking your muscle, liver, and fat cells so they can take in glucose from the blood for energy or storage. Because white bread causes such a rapid and large spike in glucose, it demands a similarly rapid and substantial release of insulin. In the short term, a healthy body can handle this just fine. But if this happens frequently day after day, your cells can start to become less responsive to insulin signals. It's like they get tired of hearing the same message over and over. This condition is called insulin resistance. When insulin resistance develops, your pancreas has to work harder and pump out even more insulin to get the same job done. As a result, your blood sugar stays elevated for longer periods after you eat. Insulin resistance is a major factor that can lead to type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. Let's talk about your energy levels. After that initial big spike in blood sugar from eating white bread, there's often a rapid crash. Your blood sugar can fall so quickly that it actually drops below your normal baseline level. This is sometimes called reactive hypoglycemia. You've probably felt this before. It shows up as sudden fatigue, trouble concentrating, feeling irritable, or what many people call hangry. This crash is also why a meal based on white bread often does keep you feeling full for very long. As your blood sugar plummets, your body sends out strong hunger signals, often making you crave more simple carbohydrates to bring your energy levels back up. This can easily lead to a cycle of spiking and crashing, which can contribute to eating more calories than you need throughout the day. What happens to the excess sugar that your body doesn't use for immediate energy? Well, it gets converted into fat. When your glucose intake is higher than your energy needs, your liver kicks into a process called de novo lipogenesis. Essentially, it takes that extra glucose and turns it into fatty acids, which are then packaged into triglycerides and released into your bloodstream. Studies have shown that regularly eating fast-digesting carbohydrates like white bread is linked to higher levels of triglycerides in the blood. Elevated triglycerides are a known risk factor for cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, and they also contribute to insulin resistance. This effect is especially strong when a diet high in refined carbs also provides more calories than the body is burning. White bread also has a significant impact on the hormones that control your appetite. The quick digestion and glucose absorption mean you feel full, but that feeling doesn't last long. It does unstimulate the release of satiety hormones, the ones that tell your brain you resatisfied as effectively as slower digesting, fiber-rich foods do. Over time, your brain can start to associate white bread and similar foods with a quick, easy energy hit. This can reinforce your preference for these types of fast-digesting carbs, making nutrient-dense, high-fiber foods seem less appealing. This isn't just about willpower. It's a physiological response driven by how different foods are structured and how your body processes them. And we can't forget about your gut microbiome. The trillions of bacteria living in your gut play a huge role in your overall health, and dietary fiber is their favorite food. Whole grains are full of fermentable fibers that nourish a diverse and healthy community of gut bacteria. White bread, having had its fiber removed, offers very little for these beneficial bacteria to eat. If your diet consistently favors refined grains over whole grains, the diversity of your gut microbiome can decrease. This can lead to lower production of beneficial compounds like short-chain fatty acids, which are important for good glucose control and reducing inflammation. The health of your gut and your metabolic health are deeply connected. All of these factors, the blood sugar spikes, insulin resistance, elevated triglycerides, and abdominal fat are components of what's known as metabolic syndrome. This is a cluster of conditions that significantly increases your risk for heart disease and diabetes, while eating white bread alone won't cause metabolic syndrome. A diet that relies heavily on it and other refined carbohydrates can certainly be a major contributing factor. It's the overall dietary pattern that really matters. There's also the micronutrient aspect to consider. Whole grain breads are naturally rich in important nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and various phytochemicals. These nutrients are not just extras. They actively support carbohydrate metabolism and help your insulin function properly. White bread is often enriched, meaning some vitamins and minerals are added back after processing. However, enrichment doesn't come close to restoring the full, complex nutrient profile of the original whole grain. A diet that emphasizes whole grains over refined ones is simply better equipped to support your long-term metabolic health and resilience. So after all this, does it mean you have to give up white bread forever? Absolutely not. The key is moderation and smart pairing. You can significantly blunt the metabolic effects of white bread by changing what you eat with it. Pairing white bread with protein, healthy fats, or fiber-rich foods slows down digestion and absorption, which helps to flatten that blood sugar curve. For example, instead of toast with jam, try having it with a couple of eggs. Instead of a plain cheese sandwich, make it a lean protein sandwich packed with lettuce, tomatoes, and other veggies. Even spreading some nut butter on your toast can make a big difference. Remember, the composition of your entire meal is often more important than any single ingredient. To wrap things up, white bread itself isn't a bad food, but its refined nature means it digests very quickly, leading to a sharp rise in blood sugar and a strong insulin response. When this becomes a frequent pattern, it can contribute to blood sugar instability, insulin resistance, and put a strain on your metabolic health. Understanding these mechanisms gives you the power to make smarter choices for your body. Here at Primetime Health, our goal is never about restriction. It's about providing you with evidence-based knowledge so you can build sustainable, healthy habits. Thank you so much for tuning in. Follow us for more deep dives into nutrition and metabolic health.